So let's get this show rocking and rolling, fam. We got a lot of things to cover today. Let's start with some stuff from your girl,
Elizabeth Warren. So considering nobody else really on progressive media criticizes Elizabeth Warren TYT doesn't do their due diligence in criticizing Elizabeth Warren. I wanted to point out something in regards to what she said. She did this really long interview / article back in 2004, and the main thing she was focused on was denying the fact that it's a rich person's fault. So she said, it is not about class warfare. She wrote, the rich are not the enemy. In fact, most of us would like to be rich. Corruption and misplaced priorities are the enemy, and the poor are not the only ones who have problems. So don't talk as if they are the only ones who deserve compassion. So the problem with this, and this is why I'm Bernie Sanders, because you have to understand this is class warfare. The rich are the problem. And I'm not saying that every rich person is bad, or that every rich person can't help you, or that you shouldn't take money from a wealthy person. For instance, Bernie Sanders has lots of celebrities that donate to his campaign. Tulsi has a guy named Omar Malik who took on the Bank of America and is completely anti-war and pro-Palestinian. And they donate to these respective candidates. Bernie trusts people like Susan Sarandon and those people who are actors and in the industry. But that doesn't mean that the majority of these billionaires who hoard the wealth, who completely live off exploiting the masses, exploiting their workers. Jeff Bezos actually just took the health care away from his employees because they were demanding more, and instead of giving them actual health care and providing everything that they need, because he's such a billionaire, he makes $149,000+ a minute. Yeah. And he can't afford to give them $15 minimum wage or complete health care. And so instead what he does, because he's such an idiot, because that is the most idiotic thing to do, is instead takes it away.
Yeah. I really like to just talk about this in the macro sense, fam, about the rich and the poor and stuff like that. And, once again, the game is rigged, first off. So it's really the people who became rich really didn't, most of them, the general, we're talking about the uber rich, didn't do it in a fair way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And why do we have to continue to play this game and stuff? We have one planet. We have to live on this together. We're just species on a planet. And sometimes we lose sight of that within this whole monetary system that has been programmed and thrusted upon us since a young age. So many people want to get out of college. All they want to do is go make money. Well, what about contributing to society, to helping people and stuff like that? It's very hard. And it's not because I don't have a lot of money, because I scoff at it. I scoff at it because there's so much suffering and people don't give a damn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just see these people homeless on the street. I see people without food, without proper water, and they're just human beings. They're species. But the only reason why that exists is so that we can have a rich to take advantage of a poor. And I think that we have to scale it back to some limits, something reasonable where we can all wrap our head around and there's not so much suffering.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to have a monetary system where rich exists, it's got to be levels. There's got to be limits to what people can have. We only got one world. They can't have too many resources. And there's got to be a bottom level where everybody gets taken care of. So the fact that she's saying, they're not the only ones who deserve compassion. I mean, it's a different compassion of what happened? You had a bad mahjong game. You sucked up a shuffleboard. I apologize. A bad day for a poor person is like, hey, I'm not eating. Hey, I'm taking half of my insulin. You know what I'm saying? There's a different level of compassion for different needs, and we have to get real about it. So I don't cry a tear for those rich people who are hoarding their money one bit.
And I just want to, I don't think I put up the link. I think the wrong link is there, Johnny. It's not that one, but I'll find it. It's an article that she wrote in 2004, and you guys should read the whole thing, because I had people like Lauren Steiner come up and say, well, am I the enemy, Fiorella? Are we am I the enemy? Or you're lying. You want to be rich. Everybody wants to be rich. Nobody wants to worry about their bills. I'm like, of course nobody wants to worry about their bills. But what we're conflating here is the fact that not worrying about your bills and being okay is being okay. It's not, the majority of people just don't want to have to worry about rent. They don't want to have to worry about bills. That doesn't mean that you can fathom the amount of money that $1 billion is, and let alone what Jeff Bezos already made in the minutes that we've been here so far. Yeah. And that's completely unnecessary. And I agree with Bernie Sanders here. Billionaires should not exist, because the only way billionaires exist is through the exploitation of everybody else. That's the only way you become a billionaire. Millionaires are an entirely different story. The way our economics is right now, $1 million isn't even that much money. And I think we can look to our people who have money, who are like compassionate about that. Like, for instance, a lot of people, you know, you can say what you want about Lauren Steiner, but Lauren Steiner is somebody that understands that she needs to help out everybody else. She's somebody that has gone into the movement to help others out who are less fortunate and to help out the greater society. But I still think it is a very privileged point of view to think that, you know, class warfare isn't the issue. It is obviously the issue. The reason we don't have a lot of money for everybody else is because these people aren't paying their fair share of taxes. They refuse to give the people that they exploit basic rights, basic wages, basic health care, and it's that greed is the bottom line. The greed is the issue.
Yeah, it is. It's all about, you know, but once again, too, it's something that's programmed to us. We're just programmed to think that, you know, money is actually worth something. So like I said, kids out of college, our friends, you know what I'm saying? Like, his goal was to, hey, man, you know, make this money right out of college. And I know so many people that are like that, then, you know, you set the society where everybody's pitted against each other's throats, because that's what true
capitalism is.
Exactly. That's what it is. And it's a society that will ultimately fail, because you'll have some people at the top not where, like, I had a bad day. I chipped the paint off my yacht when I was pulling into the port.
These people have mega yachts. They have mega yachts that are ridiculous. You can't fathom the amount of money. So that's pretty much what
it's disgusting.
What I wanted to allude to. So Elizabeth Warren, again, I'm fighting Wall Street. I'm going to take care of your interests. But she was a Republican for the longest time. She's a capitalist in her bones. How is she going to fight for your interests when she hasn't felt that need? Bernie Sanders was working class growing up. When you're working class growing up, or when your parents are immigrants, you have a completely different point of view than somebody who didn't have to go through that. So there's that class warfare.